Hello everybody, I'm Sophie Savage and I'm an Associate Lecturer in Sociology at the University of the West of England, and I am presenting today with my colleague Dr. Tilly Curran, who is a visiting fellow and is in the same space as you. This presentation is titled A Cyborg's Field Notes, Telepresence Teaching in Higher Education. In case it's not obvious, I'm the cyborg and these are my field notes. The aims of today's session are to share my use of telepresence robots as a reasonable adjustment for teaching in higher education in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, to share the themes from my autoethnographic analysis and student feedback, and the institutional barriers encountered and offering a cyborg dream of the future. Now, we begin with our experience of robotics technology, but I'm curious, what is your experience of using robots? We began encountering robots in our Disability Rights and Robotics Co-Producing Futures project. In this project, myself and Tilly and a large co-production group came together to ask, how can robotics technology support disability rights? Our group included people with lived experience of disability and students and academics from robotics and social sciences, and two robots, Pepper, a companion robot who you can see in the middle photo with me, and Double, the telepresence robot, which you can see in the photo on the far right-hand side. The key message from our project was that co-design is essential, and without it, it's pointless. Without involving people with lived experience from the start, you may create something that is not useful or wanted. Now, when COVID happened, I had ideas about how telepresence could be used in education settings when many students and staff began to return to campus sites, but I didn't. Now, a telepresence robot, like all robots, can sense, plan, and act. And a telepresence robot can be operated by anyone with an internet connection, and it includes a video camera, speakers, a screen, and microphones. And I can be based at home or any other safe location and move a robot around a physical space, and I can interact with people in that physical space. And this is how I've been interacting with students on campus. We secured UE funding, UE internal funding, to set up a cross-disciplinary pilot project to explore the following questions. How can telepresence robots be used as a reasonable adjustment for staff teaching in higher education? What is the student learning experience of teaching that uses telepresence, and what are students' suggestions for its improvement? How can this inform wider application as a reasonable adjustment for students, and what might be needed for institution-wide rollout? The framework for our methodology was based on the social model of disability, with disabled people leading change and very much centering the cyborg perspective, my perspective. So I used autoethnography to capture my experience. I did a survey with the students to capture some of their experience of the telepresence robots. We used co-production, focusing on advocacy and supporting my voice. And these ethics and risks to myself were all approved by our ethics board. But everything, the methodology, the ethics, were all designed to centre my voice and experience. We did 4 teaching sessions, 3 interactive seminars with undergraduate sociology students, and 1 guest lecture with postgraduate students on a programme, Masters in Assistive Robotics. I was supported by an associate lecturer who was taking on the role of a personal assistant, which we were piloting during the pilot project, and a robotics technician who was there to support my use of the robot. Now, the overall student feedback was very positive. It was a great opportunity to have a richer interaction with a seminar leader I had only ever communicated with on Blackboard before. Blackboard is an online platform we use for online teaching. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like Sophie was in the room with us, a very novel experience I'm pleased to be a part of. I hope it continues. I love the inclusivity of it. And it allows people all over the world to collaborate, or those who otherwise couldn't attend in person due to disability. Also allows guest lecturers to teach all over the world. The themes from the autoethnography are inclusion. I felt like I was on campus with them. I felt like I was part of a collegiate team, embodied. Relationships. I care about the students and I miss them. It's the thing I am best at doing, demonstrating I care about their learning, well-being, journey through university. I am doing that again. I think it is a reasonable adjustment for all interactions, professional, social interactions. Having someone excited to see you in the corridor is a very human experience. Sense of self and value. My sense of self and value that was gained from this project was about more than being a university lecturer. It was about being there, being a person in the world, being seen and heard after so long. We encountered a variety of different institutional barriers, and we present them here in the form of frequently asked questions, and really asking why these are the frequently asked questions that we've encountered. Why should Sophie have a robot and continue teaching off campus when the university mandate is that everyone should be on site? This question shows us the importance of training so that all understand the employment context of disability equality and reasonable adjustments. What about the student experience? Well, we observed that students value real-world experience of inclusive practice in higher education, and it added value for employment. Perhaps students could even undertake a small inclusive practice credit from the training and account of the experience. What about the cost? Can we afford not to make telepresence teaching available? Because we risk the loss of lived experience expertise in higher education. What are the benefits? Well, we're trailblazing telepresence disability equality training to align with employment equality, and students experience inclusive practice in higher education communities for real-world careers and a full community life. So just bringing it back to this cyborg perspective, and always kind of beginning with childhood. I, like many other disabled people, have had an important relationship with technology since childhood. For example, when I was 12, I had a Hickman line, which is a central line used to deliver medication and take blood. I named my line Borg from Star Trek for the year that I had chemotherapy. Always loved science fiction, and I've spent a lot of time imagining myself in various worlds, going on adventures whereby lots of different questions were explored. What it is to be human, to have a body, lots of complex relationships with machines and technology and robots. These thought experiments that are presented within science fiction made me feel a sense of belonging, as I was often surrounded by machines delivering medication, taking away fluids, and monitoring my heart rate. So by offering me early ideas of the excitement of being, by offering sort of these earlier ideas of the excitement I had for being a cyborg, I imagined myself in the future, even at times when that felt less possible. And here I am in the future, and I am a cyborg once again, a cyborg lecturer. I have a view of the future, fleets of telepresence robots in every space, to be there without being there, to have the option to choose how to be in a space, to support our rights to a full life in all public settings, and for us to bring and contribute our contributions. From an idea I had years ago during the Disability Rights and Robotics project about how I could be there without being there in our knowledge cafe, And from the precarious context in which I'm working as an hourly paid lecturer without permanency, this project has led to a wider investigation and a commitment from senior strategic staff at UE, and they are now undertaking an equality impact assessment to investigate telepresence as a recognised reasonable adjustment for wider implementation. I have security for my job for the upcoming academic year, and it proves that cyborgs can change policy and maybe the world. I can't be there with you at the moment. I would love to have heard about your papers, had a cup of tea with you, sat down and had dinner with you this evening. However, I'm going to leave you with my email address. Here's how you can contact me. Do check out our website, www.disabilityrightsandrobotics.co.uk, where you can read our reports and find our references. Over to Tilly now to lead the discussion on how you think that telepresence could support right to a full life. Goodbye.